In the previous video on the Atom S3, I told you they had to be programmed differently because of the way they were designed. This is because with previous generation devices, they used a separate USB to TTL adapter. With the Atom S3, the adapter is built into the chip itself, enabling S3 devices to be used in what's known as CDC mode or drive mode. Because of this change in hardware, they have to be manually put into boot mode so that the firmware can be written to the bootloader section. And once the firmware has been written, it has to be reset into ordinary mode so that the firmware can be loaded. This is in a similar way to the Raspberry Pi and others like it, but it means that while you can write firmware, you can't directly access the firmware. The devices, after reset, tend to work in, for want of a better word, a safe mode, preventing access to the core firmware, preventing accidental overwriting or damage to it. One other bonus of having the internal driver is that these can be used in what's known as drive mode. In drive mode, these things act as a mass storage device. However, the current setup of the M5 stack firmware prevents them being used in mass storage device, which means we don't have access to easy install firmware like UIFLow2 that's used on Raspberry Pis. Now that's out of the way, it's time to flash another drive. In this one, I shall work on the CoreS3. The CoreS3, like the others, has to be put into boot mode first. So we load our M5 burner. As with the Atom S3, before you plug it in, you have to put it into bootloader mode by holding, in this case, the button down here, which is the reset button. Plug it in. You need to plug that in and hold down the boot button. And there we go, the green light has come on. Release it. And in USB CDC mode, it appears as a USB modem, which is all well and good, right? Click on burn. Make sure the modem is selected. Click on start. You then need to bind it to your account. Are you sure? Yes. That will be the name that it bounds to your account as, or in my case. You get a message to say binding device successful. Always click erase first because you want to wipe the firmware that's pre-installed. May look like it's doing nothing for a while, but then it will suddenly jump to life. There we go. Chip erased in 54 seconds because there's a lot of memory on it. Once it's cleared, we can click on burn again. Make sure it's still selected as that. Click start. Check your Wi-Fi settings. Then click burn. There we go, that burn's successful. Now to see that it's all been installed, you need to hit the reset button. And you'll notice it now turns up as a U-sub modem, as UIFLow2, which shows it is now has UIFLow installed. And if we close down M5 burner, go into Google Chrome. I always recommend Google Chrome because I've had problems with everything else. You'll see that the Atom S3 is not detected as it's sat in a packet there. If we open up the device selection, we can see our devices there. Set that, and now you see it's detected. And I shall just change the name to CoreS3. There we go. Confirm, continue and save. And there we go. You can see that it's all that the UI flow is changed to show the CoreS3. What available software options is available in the firmware. What hardware options is available. Still no SD card support at the moment. And which M5 units are all available working with the S3. And there you go. CoreS3 all up and running in fully working order. Until the next time. Thank you very much. Bye.